Guys, this week we have a lot to cover. We've got board game news, we've got some video game news, and of course, we're gonna be taking a look at some miniatures. So without further ado, let's jump into this week's hobby news. I'm Angela, you're watching Hobby Night. Now let's get to it.
Many on our team are Warhammer 40k fans, and our dream of making an engaging, classic RPG in that universe goes back a long way. We want to let players experience the Warhammer 40k universe in all its diversity. So, in our game there will be a time for war, but also a time for travel, discovery, scheming, and much, much more. The game is set in the Coronis Expanse. It is situated away from the Imperium's billion-strong armies and its mighty fleets. In this underexplored and perilous region, young colonies founded by fearless pioneers coexist with ancient worlds whose inhabitants have long forgotten the light of the Emperor. The Coronis Expanse is teeming with heretics, Xenos, and yet more terrifying and dangerous monsters who won't hesitate to destroy trespassers. Rogue traders stand out in unique ways among other Imperial subjects. These extraordinary men and women have been granted all but unlimited rights and privileges. They wander the stars, rediscover long-forgotten civilizations, conquer planets, and establish colonies. Our game's protagonist belongs to this rare breed. A rogue trader can choose their own path and mission, but no matter what endeavor they embark on, they know they'll be risking their life and sanity, and that overcoming such treacherous circumstances will require all the resources and Imperial authority granted by their warrant of trade. This rare credential will open any door for its holder and affords them a number of exclusive privileges. A rogue trader's duty is to explore the darkness beyond the Imperium's borders, blaze trails to worlds unknown, and expand humanity's domain. Making new discoveries, ruling over entire worlds, solving ancient mysteries, and hunting for long-lost treasure are all things a rogue trader may do for the sake of both their own enrichment and the Imperium's prosperity. A rogue trader's military might lies in their void ship, a gargantuan space fortress with a complement of tens of thousands, among whose number are future colonists tasked with founding settlements on new worlds. The void ship is at the core of the freedoms enjoyed by a rogue trader. They are exploring remote planets that emit strange radiation, waging an interstellar war on pirates, or defying impossible odds to reach further into the Coronis Expanse. Flying through the warp is an immeasurable risk in itself, and our protagonist will feel this precarity as viscerally as their crew. Xenos are a different type of encounter that the rogue trader will have to contend with on their journeys. Dangerous and inscrutable, some of them are sentient non-humans who coordinate their actions to advance their detestable, unconscionable interests. However, the darkness beyond the Imperium holds more than just material threats. Far removed from the Empire's light, the Coronis Expanse is a hotbed of sin and decay that can seduce even the most steadfast of hearts. Not every rogue trader has it in them to resist these temptations. Without this, it implies the Chaos Gods will be the new master regardless. And this is only a fraction of the unthinkable things you will encounter as a rogue trader. We will show you more soon, Lord Captain. Until next time.
first up, we need to take a look at what Owlcat released for us this week with their dev diary, because they're talking about what's coming in Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, and I, for one, am very much looking forward to this game. In the dev diary, they were talking about what specifically a Rogue Trader is, and they were giving some hints as to what we might be doing in the game. And there's two main things that I took away from this preview, because frankly, I'm already interested in this game. They don't need to sell me on it anymore. I'm down for it. But there's two things I took away. One, this team seems to really love the lore, and the fact that they mentioned that they not only play the tabletop game, but also have played with some of the old RPGs, specifically calling out Fantasy Flight Games' Rogue Trader. I was really hyped to see that. I love knowing that the teams are actually passionate about the worlds that they're working with. The other thing that I liked about this trailer was just the fact that we got to see a bunch of cool, art. Honestly, I love black and white art from Games Workshop, whether it be from the teams they work with, which in this case is Owlcat, or just in general, and it's so cool to see. I can't wait for an art book and for this game to come out later next year.
It is the 41st millennium. For 10,000 years, the Imperium has dominated the galaxy. There is only war. Every human soul, from the most highborn lord to the most basic servitor, is dedicated to the service of the God Emperor of mankind. The Imperium's battle fleets and armies, from the conscripted soldiers of the Astra Militarum to the elite space marines of the Adeptus Astartes, keep humanity safe from alien threats and cosmic horrors beyond imagining. But there is another war. It is the one in which I serve.
Archangels, commensurate translation.
Not one of battlefields and fleet engagements. It is waged by the dedicated agents of the Imperial Inquisition. It is fought in the cities and hives of the Imperium. In the back streets and the forgotten sublevels. In hive cities like Tertium.
We are surrounded! Don't get overrun!
For if the Inquisition fails, if we fail, the Imperium falls with us.
We have another video game trailer to take a look at with a very similar looking woman, because Games Workshop seems to dictate exactly how their females can appear, and apparently the Rogue Traders and Inquisitors kind of all look the same.
You can either be the big beehive-headed woman, or you can have the Sisters of Battle hair. Those are your choices, or Katie and Helmet.
That's true. That does seem to be the only choices you're getting. And now that is not a complaint from Fat Shark. That is just a complaint on GW's part. But let's actually talk about what Fat Shark showed us, because we got a little bit of a world building trailer this time for Darktide, and I am hyped for it. I've played a little bit in the open beta, and the environments and world they were showing us already really intrigued me, but they've now deepened that even further. And I think they're really nailing some of those horror elements that you don't always get in 40k games, but they're doing it perfectly, and I'm absolutely loving the look of this game. It's coming out later this month, and I, for one, am going to be playing it. I wonder, are you?
Despoiler. Venom in his hearts and blood on his blades. What new darkness does he bring?
Games Workshop clearly missed my news episode last week because I already told you guys that Abaddon is behind most of the shenanigans in the upcoming narrative campaign, but they didn't think that was good enough, so they released another Emperor's Tarot trailer, and this time it was telling us, hey, Abaddon's behind a lot of this stuff. It's really what we expect. I don't know why they made such a big deal about this, but hopefully next week's trailer will give us a bit more information that we didn't already know. Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in and let you know that I've recently started live streaming. So if you never want to miss those, or if you've been enjoying the content you're watching today, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. Now, let's go ahead and jump back to the video. Next up, I want to talk about the holiday box sets because these kind of slipped under the radar and we've now finally got a look at what's coming in them, and the Age of Sigmar ones, in my opinion, look fantastic. There's great range, there's a bunch of different forces that you can choose from, and each of them are coming with a big named character or monster, which I really like seeing because personally, I like a lot of variety in the scale of my army, so getting a lot of small units, medium units, and then big tall units is really cool. Now on the 40k side, they are in fact still doing this and giving us some really big named characters and larger units, including some Demon Primarchs, which I am happy to see. Don't get me wrong, I love Magnus and Mortarion. Glad that they're in the sets, but what happened to the Xeno in this world? Because all of our box sets in this new holiday release are nothing but Imperium or Chaos. And while I love me some Imperium and definitely love me some Chaos, I also want some Orcs and Necrons and Tau and Eldar and Dark Eldar and Nids. Where are they? Where are they? I mean, like maybe you could kind of claim that the Votann box is sort of non-Imperium, but I don't really consider it that. I know, but like, it's a shame, and I'm really sad to see that there are like no Xeno forces represented this holiday season, especially when they had that cool trailer with the rocking orc with their holiday song. Like, there should have at least been an orc box. For our last bit of Warhammer news, the Warhammer Fest 2023 tickets are officially on sale and you can grab them now. The event will be taking place April 29th through May 1st, and it's going to be happening in Manchester Central venue in the UK. I, for one, really wish I could go to this, and I really want to get a hold of the Golden Throne VIP ticket because the name of that is just hilarious. But if you're going, let me know, and you can grab your tickets now. Now let's talk about something that I'm actually incredibly hyped for. There's a little bit of concern there, but overall, Atomic Mass recently announced a new Star Wars game that has miniatures in it. It's going to be called Star Wars Shatterpoint, and I, for one, think this is very interesting. It is going to be a smaller skirmish game, so not as large as Legion, and if you look at the trailer, the miniatures are looking a little bit larger, especially those bases, which makes me think that maybe this is going to be something more along the lines of Marvel Crisis Protocol, except for Star Wars. You get a lot of really cool iconic characters in the starter set, a lot of which I am very interested in. I want Maul, I want Ahsoka, I really just want everybody. Like, the fact that this is set in the Clone Wars predominantly is perfect for me because that Personally, it's one of my favorite settings for Star Wars. I watched a lot of the Clone Wars cartoon. I've watched Rebels, I've watched Bad Batch. I love that setting and the cartoons that are coming out from it. So seeing these characters come to life in that setting is just super, super rad. Now, I know that exists in Legion already, but this is gonna be a smaller skirmish game, and if it does end up following the path of Marvel Crisis Protocol, I really hope that means that I get to force throw terrain around the board, because I just think that would be really, really cool. We don't know a whole lot else about the game quite yet, or even when it's coming out, but I, for one, am going to be keeping my eye on it because I am very excited for this new Star Wars game. Now, my one concern about this game coming out is that Atomic Mass might end up letting something else in the Star Wars franchise that they already make for games fall behind. And I really hate seeing that happen. I know Fantasy Flight was kind of bad about it when they owned the property, and I'm really hoping that's not something that Atomic Mass picks up and carries on, because I'd love to see Legion and Armada and X-Wing and all of those games still properly supported while this new game is coming online. I just don't disappoint me, Atomic Mass. Support all of them. I'm going to do it, Cultist.
Good.
You can leave now. Don't worry. I'm going to take care of it. Go on.
Good.
Go on.
You better.
I will. Don't worry. Don't worry.
You better.
I will. Go on. Go. And now, the trailer for the Heroes of Might and Magic 3 board game.
Welcome back to Arathia, adventurer. It's been a while. The town awaits your orders. Choose a hero and which sides to take in the battle for Arathia. These choices will determine the enemies you face, allies you make, and ultimately, your own fate. The world of Antagarich is ripe for exploration. Capture forgotten mines, uncover new regions, collect ancient artifacts, and much more. Utilize the land and its resources to build your town from the ground up. Recruit powerful creatures and construct impressive structures in your name. Your hero will grow stronger by collecting artifacts, learning new skills and spells to use them in the Might and Magic card deck. With more experience, you will learn to amplify your abilities for even more powerful effects. The army you recruit along the way is the key to victory. They don't come free, though. You will have to pay the price for their services. Increase their amount to unlock unique and powerful abilities. You are now ready for the final battle. Carefully position your forces on the battlefield. Protect your ranged units, and use your hero to manipulate the battlefield. Master your faction, and go forth. Arathia awaits you. Conquer the world.
Archon Studios and Ubisoft have partnered together to bring us Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Board Game Edition. As you can tell, the Chaos Cultist is incredibly excited, and frankly, I am too. I really like adventure games that have a strategy element to them, and that's exactly what this is looking like. Now, the Kickstarter isn't available yet. It's actually going live tomorrow, and I'm definitely going to be checking it out and getting more coverage on it because I want to know a lot more about this game. Already, there are some things that excite me. Obviously, the miniatures get me hyped because I do love me some miniatures, and I do appreciate the fact that they put some of them in a purple plastic. That way, even if I don't paint them, they're already a lovely color, and I just think that's top. But the thing that actually really excites me about this game is if you've ever played Heroes of Might and Magic, you'll know that when you go into combat, you go to a separate board, and it becomes a very strategic game. And the fact that they're actually emulating that in the board game version is really, really cool to me. There's going to be deck building elements to this game as well, which I assume will come out in the combat. And as you know, if you've been following this channel for any amount of time, I love deck building as a mechanic. So there are a number of things that have piqued my interest in the Heroes of Might and Magic 3 board game. Let me know if there's anything that's piqued your interest and whether or not you think you might be picking this one up in the comments below. All right, there was a lot we covered in this week's hobby news. A lot of cool things that actually have me very excited and a few things that disappoint me. Let me know your thoughts down below. And before I head out, I do want to remind you that this Tuesday I'll be having another hobby live stream. So check it out, join me. It'll be happening at 3 p.m. Pacific time or your local equivalent time. Otherwise, I just want to thank my patrons for making it so content like this can continue to happen, because without your guys' support, we wouldn't be doing this. Thank you so very much. I have been Angela, and I hope you have a wonderful hobby night.